Victoria, another impressive victory. Are you happy with the result?
Yes, I'm happy with the result. I wanted to get a finish and I did.
You showcased a lot more stand up this time with a lot of stand up exchanges in the first round. Was that part of your game plan to showcase your striking a little bit more?
The game plan going into this match was to keep it on the standing for a little bit, knowing that she's a BJJ specialist, and the plan was to take it to the ground on my terms. So when I felt the opening was right, I went for a takedown attempt.
Our first question of the day goes to Jude Briosis of Overtime Heroics MMA.
I just want to ask, at 17 years old, what's the hardest thing that you go through in preparing for your fights? Like, is it the diet, body conditioning, fatigue, etc.?
I feel like since I grew up training, the body conditioning and the actual training isn't the worst part about it. I would say dieting is always pretty uncomfortable, but the most difficult part is the mental preparation for just the pressure and the magnitude of the event.
Next question goes to Steve Irvine of MMA Radio.
Very big congratulations for your win. It was a very dominant win. Now, that's 3 finishes, 2 by submission and now a TKO. How does it feel for you to showcase another dangerous side to your game?
It feels great. Going into this match, the plan was to go for a submission. I was using my ground and pound to set up more submission attempts, but I am extremely happy to have got to my first TKO finish.
And just one more, did you feel any pressure to win by strikes as opposed to submission?
No, the plan is just to go in there and to finish, whether it be with strikes first or with a submission.
Next question goes to Jay Anderson of Cage Side Press.
First of all, I'm just curious. I mean, it can't be ignored that you are essentially still growing and fighting, adult females who are going to be a fair bit more developed physically. What is the strength difference like? How have you found the strength difference fighting, older women so far?
Well, based off of my past 3 fights, I don't feel that there's any um I don't feel that I'm giving up any strength to my opponents, as we all have to make the same weight at 115. So we're all, around the same size, and I've been training martial arts for a very long time, and I feel that my skills and just my body conditioning has improved to a level where I'm able to compete with, other adults.
And you obviously have 2 very famous siblings who have also had successful MMA careers. I'm just wondering how important it has to have them as a sounding board if you have any questions or concerns heading into a fight, and to be able to use that knowledge.
Oh, it's definitely such a blessing for me to have my brother and sister there in my corner all the time. They've gone on almost the exact same journey as me, so whenever I have questions, they've already been through it and they're able to give me, insights that no one else would really know. It's awesome.
And last one for me, has it been easier preparing for a fight to fight on the same card as your brother, or does it add a little bit of nerves because you've got your fight and then you're worried about his fight as well?
I don't feel that it adds too much of nerves. I feel more the benefits that we get to train together and travel together and just experience everything the fight week, and just I get to be there and experience it with him. Honestly, I don't get nervous for my brother and my sister's fights because I'm always there with them training and seeing how hard they work. So when they get into the cage, I don't feel nervous for them.
Our next question goes to Dominic Pilares of Martial Arts Unleashed.
My first question is, how does it feel getting to represent Hawaii on such a global stage as one fighting championship?
It feels amazing getting to represent all of my different cultures. I hold the Singaporean flag, but Hawaii is my hometown. That's where I was born and raised, and I'm happy to represent.
And how does it feel now that you're on this huge rise through the one atomweight championship series? How does it feel that you may may end up having to face a sibling going down the line if things keep going your way?
um, I'm extremely excited to have been, on this journey, and I can't wait to just keep staying active in this division and having more and more fights. But the match between me and my sister would never happen.
Our next question goes to Leon Jennings of Asian Persuasion MMA.
3 finishes now. I was wondering, is there a bit of you that would like to go the full 3 rounds to test yourself in that manner?
Actually, no. I feel that the finishes are always more impressive and what the fans want to see than decisions. So my goal is always to push for the finish.
That's a good answer. Luckily, you're only 17 years old, but you're 3-0, 3 finishes, which means you can kind of maybe start picking out fights now. Is there anyone particular you'd maybe like to fight in the atomweight division, or are you just happy to take on anyone one sends your way?
I've never been one to choose my opponents. I'm just extremely lucky that I'm able to stay this active and compete as much as I can. So I'm not going to call out any opponents.
Well, Christian just had his fight finished very controversially. What are your thoughts on the fight and the result?
I do not think that my brother's fight should have been as controversial as it is right now. It is a clear decision, unanimous, that my brother should have kept his title. I don't understand the reasoning behind the judge's decision. He definitely, you could see he had the submission attempt, which is a near finish, and he knocked him down twice and controlled him, took him down. And you could also see the damage on Oak's face. So I don't understand really the judging criteria, but it's up to one right now to see how they're going to respond to if they're going to review the tape.
Our next question goes to Kyle Siegel of Going Live Podcast.
So I was like, yep, I completely agree. I don't think your brother lost the fight either. I was on my feet the entire time, like, let's go, Christian. And then, but no, I got to ask, they showed this video of Chaudhry just giving you guys this like pep speech before you guys all fought. And the camera kind of singled in on your smile. What does that mean to you, that you have the CEO pumping up all the fighters like that, right before you go to war?
I think it's really unique that One Championship really cares about their fighters, and that the chairman of the board will come down and really talk to all of the fighters on this card to really, hype them up and like remind them why they're here to fight and put on a show for the fans. And it is really inspiring.
Our next question will go to Raj Sarkar of Essentially Sports.
You're rightly representing the Lee clan. So does it put any pressure on you? Like, do you release the claim of being coming from the Lee clan, or does it ever put any pressure on you that you got to win, or it's going to put a dent on your family's name, something like that?
I feel very lucky to be growing up in a family of martial artists, extremely talented, and I feel like I get all the benefits of training with, my siblings and learning from my dad, who's an amazing coach. But I don't feel that there's pressure as a family. I feel like we're all on our own individual journeys, but we're fortunate enough to be, part of the same family and sharing a legacy that we make on our own.
Obviously, there are a lot of people from your family who inspires you because you have born and brought up in a family of mixed martial arts. At 17, you are now the inspiration for a lot of young women. So who outside your family, who are the fighters that have inspired you while growing up, still in the journey?
Growing up, there actually wasn't a lot of women fighters. My sister is my biggest inspiration because of how much she's done for women's MMA in Asia. She's truly a pioneer for the sport, and in One Championship, she's the first atomweight champion, and she's who I look up to the most.
Also, I wanted to know, a lot of people are protesting about the fact that Anjali hasn't defended her title since 2 years. Although One Championship has got a strict plan for their division, they have got the Grand Prix lined up, but a lot of people still claim that Anjali should vacate her title. What would be your reaction to those claims?
I don't think there's any valid reasoning behind those claims. My sister has proven to be a dominant champion in the atomweight division. She has taken out every one of her opponents. The first year where nobody was fighting because there was a global pandemic, that took a toll on everybody's lives. And going into the second year, she had her pregnancy, which she's now starting to come back from training. At the time, while my sister was pregnant, that's when they started the Grand Prix. So there was no clear title contender for her to defend her belt against because she has cleared out the entire atomweight division. However, they brought in lots of talented atomweights for this Grand Prix tournament to figure out who's going to be the true number one contender, which we will find out in the final round. And that's who my sister's going to defend her belt against.
Dylan Bowker of My MMA News.
Just, I know you've been very focused on the individual growth per some of the conversations we've had, some of the interviews there. I'm curious, when you got out to the one circle there, were you able to showcase the, recently shored up skills that you were looking to showcase?
I do feel that I've improved a lot from my previous fight. I feel that I was able to showcase, some of my ground and pound skills and just tightening up my overall game. Of course, there's still lots for me to improve upon. I'm going to go back, watch the tape, and keep improving for my next match.
Quick follow-up question. I mean, you got the experience to fight on this card with your brother Christian. You were just talking about how much of an inspiration Angela has been for you, and just with her looming return, like how much of a desire is there to be on that card when Angela returns to competition?
I think that would be amazing if me and my sister could fight on the same card. Experiencing with my brother was such a fun journey, and I think to do it with my sister would be just as fun because we're in the same division. We're going to be perfect training partners. However, for her return, I am 100% dedicated to helping her come back and being her primary drilling partner and just helping her get back into her peak shape as much as I can.
This one is from Ivan Stewart of Dugout Philippines. And the question is, Souza came just close to forcing a third round. What would have been the game plan if that happened?
The game plan would have been the same, to pick her apart in the striking and look for the opportunity to enter with a takedown and eventually go for the finish.